Our problem segment, teenagers and pot. A new study done at the University of Colorado says that 85% of teenagers using marijuana believe pot has adversely influenced their behavior and relationships. That 97% of these kids continued using marijuana even after realizing it had become a problem for them. And that 66% of those kids had given up important activities in order to obtain and use pot. Joining us now from Denver is Dr. Tom Crowley, the psychologist who did the study. And we might mention that this study was done on troubled children who were already in facilities trying to cope with problems. So what does your study really tell us across the board, Doctor?
Well, for about 20 years, my colleagues and I have been running a drug abuse treatment program. I want to emphasize that we're talking about kids who are patients with serious life problems. Problems in families, problems in school, and problems with substances. And what we set out to find out is, first, do these kids have what is called cannabis dependence? That is, a really serious level of drug problem with serious life problems resulting from the drug? The answer is, for sure. About 80% of the boys and 60% of the girls in this sample of 229 kids had what we call cannabis dependence, meaning serious troubles with the drug. That's number one. Number two, we looked at the question, we asked these kids, have you experienced withdrawal? 65% of the kids who had cannabis dependence said, yes, we have had withdrawal from cannabis. 25% of the kids who had cannabis dependence said that the withdrawal was a motivator that drove them on to further drug use. And finally, we asked, is the drug reinforcing? That is, does it have that property of abusable drugs to commandeer parts of the brain and drive repeated use of the drug? It looks like it's, in these kids, about as effective as nicotine and considerably more effective than alcohol in driving repeated use of the drug. All
right, so from what you know now, because this is a big topic, we should legalize marijuana, we should legalize it for medicinal purposes, whatever. So there is a large segment of our society very permissive toward marijuana. Would you say that's a bad thing? Would you say that we should tighten up on marijuana or send a message that it's not good across the board? Or should we just continue to go in a permissive way?
I guess the point that I really want to make is that in this public debate about marijuana, some people have said, or at least implied, that this is a drug that is essentially without adverse effects.
Right, benign is what they say.
What our study clearly says is that there are some people, in this case adolescents, who get in serious trouble with marijuana. Now, should that piece of information be entered into the public debate? I think absolutely yes.
Oh, sure. I mean, I'm going to go so far as to say that I don't believe any young teenager can handle any kind of intoxication. It just doesn't make sense. If you're not mature, if you're still developing mentally, and you're using intoxicants, whether it's alcohol or drugs, I mean, that can't do you any good at all, can it?
I think you're absolutely right. As you well know, in nearly all jurisdictions, it's illegal to sell cigarettes to kids who are under 18. It's certainly illegal to sell alcohol to those kids.
Yeah, and now they want to legalize drugs and pot, and you don't think kids are going to get them easier than they do? I know every kids can get them now, but it's going to be even easier to get them if they're legal. I never understood this debate, because when I was in college, and the kids who used pot almost across the board were not as sharp, not as mentally efficient as the other kids who didn't, and a lot of them developed, you know, addictive personalities to either marijuana or other things.
Well, again, the point that we can make from our study, and I don't want to overgeneralize our findings, the point that we can make is that there are some kids who have really serious life problems in their families, in school, in many cases, criminal behavior. Mix those kids with marijuana,
yeah, it's
and you markedly complicate the situation.
Yeah, and again, does society need more intoxicants? I don't know if society needs that. Listen, Doctor, thank you very much for your time, and we appreciate your study very much.
Thank you.